Okay, very good morning. This is Siddharth, and today I'm going to teach you about raw materials. So basically, I will tell you about the raw materials, which kind of raw materials are used in food production, as well as their uses and their characteristics. So basically, I will do that thing only. I will share the slides and accordingly I will tell you about the things. So um, uh, I'm going to now share the slide and about first the raw materials I'm going to talk about, that is the salt. Before that I will give you the little bit introduction about the same. So, if we are talking about the characteristics of raw materials for the preparation of good, tasty, colorful dishes, it is essential to have a basic knowledge of the raw materials, their characteristics, and the special part they play. The knowledge helps the to substitute material when necessary or rectify the texture and taste if something goes wrong. Also, it helps to improve the quality and get standard end product. So basically, once we are talking about the raw materials, if you are knowing about the raw materials, whatever the raw materials you are using, so you can use their substitute. If you are not having, then you can use their substitute. If you are not having a much knowledge about the raw material, then you will if you are not having that raw material, you cannot use. So it is very essential for you guys to understand their characteristics or about the knowledge about your raw material. So basically, this is what we are going to study about that. If we are talking about the raw materials classification, so there are around 7 to 8 raw materials are there. We will learn accordingly. So in this semester you are not having all the raw materials you are going to study. You are having around 7 or 6 raw materials, so or maybe 5. So once we will go with the syllabus, we will discuss accordingly. So the first one is the salt. If we are talking about the salt, so it is actually the main or basic ingredients or raw material for your product. Without this raw material, you cannot even imagine the product, or you will not get exactly the product taste. So it actually brings out the flavor of other ingredients. If you are making anything like any vegetable or meat preparation, once you will put the salt, then only you will get its flavor. Otherwise it is very difficult for you guys to get the flavor of the meat or vegetables. If you want the flavor of the meat or vegetable, it is very necessary for you guys to put the salt. Without salt, the taste of the product will be the flat. So this is why we use the salt. So basically the basic, if we are talking about the uh, basic knowledge about the salt, why it is used, then basically because of the taste. The other name for the salt is sodium chloride. So if we are talking about the salt, or if I'm saying the sodium chloride, both are actually the same. That is the scientific name for the salt. And it is a the salt is readily available in all parts of the world in a solid or in the solution form. If we are talking about the solid form, then it is actually the rock salt, or if we are talking about the solution form, then it is actually sea salt. So this is also very important for you guys to understand. And salt having the taste or transform as so salt is available in three forms: table salt containing phosphate, salt. So this is exactly we get in a three form of salt: the table salt, and then the coarse salt, and the celery salt. Then now what we will do, we will discuss about the uses of salt, where the salt is used. So use of the correct amount of salt improve the flavor of the uh, salty dishes, and when is little is added to a sweet dish, it enhances the flavor. Okay, so the first use is that only, and the second use is it has a physical effect on the gluten of flour and strengthen gluten, increase its resistance to the softening effects of fermentation. The third use is cauliflower, when put in salted water, makes the insects come out. So generally we put in a leafy vegetable or flowery vegetable salt, so that whatever the germs is inside the leafy vegetable or flower vegetable, it should come out. Then the fourth use, it has a controlling effects on the activity of yeast in bakery product. It controls fermentation, and hence it has a marked effect on crumb, crust, and color of baked product. So obviously the salt is very important in, if we are talking about the bakery. So generally what it is doing, actually once we are putting the salt into, once we are putting the salt into any bakery product, it controls the yeast effects. So because once yeast is getting sugar and moisture and everything, what is happening, it is rapidly growing. 1 is equal to 2, 2 is equal to 4. So once we put the salt, it controls the effect, the growth rate of actually yeast, and also its effects on the bread also, like crumb, color, and everything. Then the fifth use of salt is salt added to water for cooking green vegetables help in color retention and enhance the taste. Sixth one is salt is one of the oldest popular method of preserving ham, bacon, and fish. So basically salt is also used for the preserving the product, or salt is used for preservative. Okay, then the seventh one is salt is essential for good health. Obviously it is also providing nutritional values to our body. Then now we will discuss about the second raw material, which is liquid. Liquid are important as they are used for purpose of cooking, binding and coating, etc. Milk, water, stock, and fresh juice are most commonly used liquid. They prevent food from burning, bind dry ingredients, and help in maintaining the right consistency. Water and milk are used for preparing poaching liqueur, that is in French we call court bouillon, soups, sauces, gravies, cakes, and pastry mixtures, and kneading of dough, etc. Buttermilk is used for curries, curry, etc. Stock stock is a liquid containing solid nutrition and flavors which are extracted by prolonged and gentle simmering. Extract fish stock 20 minutes. They are used as the foundation of soup, sauce, gravy, curries, poaching liqueurs, and many important kitchen preparation. It is important that correct amount of liquid to be used, or too much could make food soggy or watery. So we discussed two raw material till now. The first one is the salt and the second one is liquid. Now we will discuss about the sweetening. So when sweetening is used with other food, it enhances the combined sensation of odor or flavor of the dish product. It also adds its own sweetness and it is a very versatile product. It uses in the kitchen are varied substitution of one sugar, castor or icing for another in a baking formula, giving allowances for difference in the sweetening effects. Sweetening is available in various forms: granulated, fine-grained, powdered, and in a solution form. Sugars vary in their sweetening quality and other available in the following form: granulated sugar, castor sugar, icing sugar, lactose, cane syrup, maple syrup, tresnel, honey, and golden syrup. If we are talking about the sugar uses, low concentration of sugar it speeds the effectiveness of baker's yeast by providing an immediate fast cooking course of nutriment for its growth, thus hastening the leavening process. The ability of sugar to crystallize give a delightful variety in cookery. Sugar gives pudding, bread, buns, and bread rolls a good flavor. The characteristics golden brown color and tender and even texture. Fermentation is added by sugar in brewing, wine making, and in the distillation of spirits. Sugar has long been used as a preservative. It is an effective preservative and can dissolve in the water at very high concentration. It is an energy food and can be stored for a long time without getting spoiled. So till here we discuss about the salt, liquid and sweetening. The next one is we will discuss the fat and oil. So generally fat and oil are nutritionally useful and in some other form economically source of energy and give value to the dish. They also contribute characteristics, palatability, quality of flavor, textures. They are properly used as a medium of cooking. So basically you will see medium of, if we are talking about the medium of cooking, so generally once we are doing frying or shallow frying, so we apply the oil onto the product or we put the product into the oil. So because of that reason we call the medium of cooking. So generally without liquid or without anything else, if we are cooking with the help of oil or fat, we call the medium of cooking at that same time. So very important you guys to understand. Once we are telling you about the method of cooking, at that time we are discussing about the two things. One is the moist cooking method, and the second one is the dry heat method. In moist heat we discuss only about the which are used for liquid medium, cooking liquid medium. But in the dry we discuss about the dry method as well as which are used the medium as a cooking oil or fat. That is also included in a dry heat method. But that is the medium actually. The process is dry only, but the thing is only we are applying oil or fat. That's why we call them actually medium of cooking. So the other thing about the, if we are talking about the fat are solid at ordinary temperature and melt when heated. Oil are liquid at ordinary temperature, only coconut oil solidify at a low temperature. So once we are talking about the fat, so fat generally at a room temperature, what will happen? Fat will be actually uh, in a solid form. Once you will apply the heat, then only it will melt. But in India, generally we are talking about the winter season. No, if it is summer season, then only in summer season the temperature is around 40 or 35. Then what will happen? The fat is also at a liquid. Okay, but once we are talking about the winter, what will happen at the room temperature? It will be solidify, but once you will apply the heat, it will be liquid. But if we are talking about the oil, whether it is winter season or it is summer season, at a room temperature it is always as a liquid. It is not going to be solidify. But there is one oil, once we are talking about the coconut oil, it is going to be actually at a room temperature also it is be solid. Okay. So various fat used in cooking are lard. Lard means once we are talking about the pig's fat, then that is called lard. And the soot, fat around kidneys, or we called uh, beef fat, we call the soot. Drippings, tallow, beef fat, butter, margarine, ghee, hydrogenated fat, cocoa butter for confectionery. So oil are extracted from coconut, palm, sesame, cottonseed, olive, peanut, mustard, corn, and sunflower. Salad is oil is dehydrated vegetable oil and is used for dressing, etc. As olive oil, the waste for the purpose is very extensive and scary. Fat and oil are used for various purposes. The major culinary part play by them as spread, shortening, salad dressing, media, and tempering. So there are 5 uses if we are talking about the salad. So first one is the spread. Butter and margarine are used for spreads, and their function is to add the flavor, nutritional value, or we can call them give the moisture to the actually product. Then the shortening, these are fat which shorten the gluten strands surrounded them and make them more easily broken when added to bread. It gives a bit of tenderness, richness, and sheen to the crumb. If we are talking about the tempering dal, curries, rice dishes are tempered. The fat or oil is heated to which cumin seed or mustard or fenugreek seeds, etc., is added and poured over the dal, rice, whatever it is. Okay. So till here we discuss about the 3 function, and then if we are talking about the salad dressing, so generally it is used, oil is used for salad dressing. Frying medium can be shallow frying, deep frying are used as a medium. So without cooking dry, they put little bit, they are applying the fat or oil. Okay, the last one is used is actually the tempering. Tempering is already I told you about that. So till here we finished with the fat and oil, sweetening, liquid, and salt. So 4 are finished. Now we are going to discuss about the raising agent, raising of leavening agent. So if we are talking about the leavening, is increasing the surface area of dough or batter by creating within myriads of gas bubbles puffing up, thus increasing the volume and making it light. The expansion of these gases during baking increases the value of the product and give a desirable porous structure. The aeration of flour product is affected by following. So there are five method which are used for the raising agent or leavening agent. So the first one is the biological, chemical, mechanical, lamination, combination of the above. So one by one I will tell you about all the five. So once we are about talking about the biological, actually biological is once we are adding yeast into the flour or into bakery products, what will happen? They are actually growing in that dough, in the flour, and their actually surface area of the dough or batter is actually gas bubbles puffing up them. So because of that reason we call them biological, because yeast is added over there. Then mechanical, if we are talking about, then baking powder is added. What will happen? Baking powder is added, then obviously the dough surfaces increases, or again the same process of puffing up is happened. So because of that reason, once we are using the baking powder, we call them chemical leavening agent. Then if we are talking about the mechanical, by beating or by whisking. So if you will see, once we are beating or whisking the cream, whipping cream, what will happen? Their size or the volume of cream is increased because we are whisking, and in that process the gas bubbles are puffing up in within that. Because of that reason their volume is actually increased. So because of that reason we call them mechanical. And then if we are talking about the lamination, so basically lamination is nothing. Once we are folding or we are rolling any product, and because of that reason their size is increased, we call them lamination. And the last one is the combination of the above. If we are combining more than one or two or three raising agent together, at the time we call them combination of the above. So till here we discuss about the raising agent, which kind of raising agents are used in the product, and how they are used. So till in this video today we discuss about the salt, the basic types of salt and their uses. So if we are talking about the basic type of salt, then there are three types of salt. Actually in culinary it is used: the table salt, which is actually the fine containing phosphorus, we call them table salt. And the second one is the coarse or fridging salt, which is actually exclusively for the culinary purpose. And the third one is the celery salt. It is actually blend of celery root and ordinary salt, and it is come in sachet or in a bottle and ready to use product. So this is use. And if we are talking about their uses, then if we are using the correct amount of salt, improve the flavor of the dishes, and when it is little added to the sweet dish, it enhances the flavor of the sweet dish. It has a physical effect on the gluten of flour, strengthen the gluten, increase its resistance of softening effects of fermentation. The third one is the cauliflower, when put into salted water, makes the insects comes out. It has a controlling effects on the activity of yeast in bakery product. It controls fermentation and hence it makes has marked effect on the crumb, crust and flavor of baked product. Salt added to water for cooking green vegetable help in color retention and enhances the taste. Salting is one of the oldest popular method of preserving ham, bacon, fish, etc. Salt is essential for good health. So once we are, if we are talking about the use of salt, so we can remember the key point, the nutritious value, and the preservation, or we can use for actually flavor, texture, taste. So you can generally what you can do, you can just remember the key words and you can make your sentence. So for you guys to understand the key words is very important. Then if we are talking about the liquids, so generally here in this point we are not having much about the liquid, but you can understand the which kind of liquids are used actually in cooking. So generally if we are talking about the liquids, so generally you will see the water, the first comes in our mind, water, milk, obviously we are putting milk or we are making the one ingredients by the milk. Then obviously stock, sauce and all these things. So these are playing these raw materials are playing very important roles in the final product. So their characteristics, it is very important to understand, and if you are not having that product, you should know the substitute for that, isn't it? So this is what. And then the third one was the sweetening. Once we are talking about the sweetening, then first comes in our mind is sugar. Why sugar is used? To enhance the taste of the product, isn't it? Once we are adding sugar to any product, what will happen? Obviously, automatically the product taste enhances, and obviously sugar is having the sweetening effects its own. So once you will put into the product, what will happen? The product will be sweet. So there are substitute for sugar also. There are a maple syrup, honey. So you should know if someone is diabetic, then how you can use the substitute for the same. And very important for you guys, like a salt, it is also having the preservative value. If you will add into any product, or in older days the jams and all these things, lots of sugar are added, then it actually preserve the product. So very important for you guys to understand these things. Okay, so then the second last one is the fat and oil. Fat and oil, generally fat is obtained from the animals, or generally it can be from the milk or from the skin, isn't it? And the oil is generally from the seed. So once we are talking about the fat, generally at a room temperature in Europe, generally it is in solid form, and in India, if we are talking about in winter season, it is going to be solid, but in summer the temperature is around 35 to 40. At that time it will be liquefied. But if it is solid, once you will put the heat, it will be liquefied. So, and if we are talking about the oil, it is at a room temperature, it is going to be liquefied. Only coconut oil is going to be hard at a room temperature as well. So here, if we are talking about the uses of fat and oil, generally there are 5 uses. Basic use: spread, shortening, salad dressing, fry medium, and tempering. Then the last one, if we are discuss about the raising agent or leavening agent, there are five types of leavening agents. biological, chemical, mechanical, lamination and combination of all above. So this chapter is over. Once we will come in the next video, we will discuss the next chapter. At that time, thank you so much. Have a good day.